Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the Plymouth Poet Laureate event 2024. No, it's happening. It's happening, see?
Yes.
I told you it was happening. Hi, everyone. I know what you're all thinking. Who is this fat guy who keeps showing up to these events insisting to be heard? Well, I am Stephen Cole. I have the very distinct pleasure of representing the Economic Development Foundation this evening. We are the EDC for our region, the Economic Development Corporation. Our goal is to enhance quality of life, and I'm very glad to say that we were one of the early supporters of the Plymouth Poet Laureate program, because that is exactly what poetry does. It enhances quality of life. I'm also glad to give you one special treat here tonight. I am not going to do a lot of talking. That's right. I have one job, and that is to introduce to you my friend and our president of America's Hometown Laureates, Jennifer Harris.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you, everyone, for attending. This is exciting. The Terrace, I want to thank the folks here at the Terrace have done a lovely job. The view is amazing, which I hope inspires some poetry after you leave here, as well as the food and drink. Tonight is a celebration of several years of work at many levels. Obviously, for Miriam O'Neill to be our new Poet Laureate here in Plymouth is a culmination of all her years of writing, teaching, getting published, and working with the community to bring poetry in such a solid form that she has come through over the years. And so for that, I'm appreciative personally in my relationship with her and celebrate her as our new Poet Laureate. So a little round of applause for Miriam. Another thing to celebrate is America's Hometown Laureates, Inc., our nonprofit 501c3 organization. We've had several supporters who have been funding us. We've done grant work, and we're the ones who are bringing you poetry throughout different venues in Plymouth and hopefully a little bit beyond. I'd like people to look at the South, from the South Shore, to look at Plymouth as a place to come and be inspired. So I want to thank our board, which includes Stephen Cole. Stephen Cole and I actually met in probably June or July of 2019. And he came to me, he made it through the different levels up to my office at the Plymouth Public Library. And we sat for like an hour and a half laughing and talking and giving birth to this idea of the Plymouth Poet Laureate. We then moved forward, so that's, how many years is that now? Almost 4 or 5 years. So we had our first Plymouth Poet Laureate, who happens to be here. Is he wearing his medallion? Stephen Delbos. Yes. So, and Stephen did a brilliant job all the years through COVID, and all of a sudden I'm retired and I run into Stephen Cole downtown at Will & Co., and we start meeting again and talking about continuing the Poet Laureate program. So it was a commitment from us. He's brought in Amy Naples, who is the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. We brought in Glenda Richards. We have her as our treasurer, and she's always good with selling things. We do have some things to sell if you're interested. And then we also have Elizabeth, is it Jewett Shanahan or Shanahan? Jewett Shanahan, who we adore, and is the executive director, executive producer, help me out with this. She's the executive director, and there's some creative stuff in there, from the local scene. And so all of our activities are getting recorded tonight. Thank you to her crew. And so we are deeply committed, and I think that is shows. And the fact that you're all here to celebrate Miriam, I think it's time to bring her on. I asked her to read a couple of poems, but before we do that, we have the official ceremony. If you'd like to step forward, he's got to step forward. And we present the new Poet Laureate medallion for Miriam O'Neill. My fingers sec. Someone can help me. Do I have to do this? Can I help with that? Oh my goodness, this feels so like Egyptian. There. And now we have our new poet laureate. Out of your way.
Thank you. I feel kind of like Sally Fields. They like me. So I'm so thrilled to do this, to be Plymouth's Poet Laureate for a couple of years and do what I do for poetry here and for our community. Poetry does make a difference. So I'm going to read just 2 poems. I was asked to read a few poems. I'm going to read 2. And originally I was going to try to get a poem in about the view, but the view kind of hid from us most of the day. So I'm going to read a poem about a different view. There's a city in Trani called Trani in Puglia in Italy. It's on the ocean, on the sea, like we are on the sea. Day's End, Trani. At noon in the parking lot by the sea in Trani, a drunk stumbles from the bar and proposes to watch our car for a coin, which my friend puts in his hand. And hours later, his replacement, backed up to our bumper in a rickety aluminum chair, insists that he has saved us from all comers. And having shared the spectacle of the lozenge sun as it burned a hole between sky and sea and disappeared like the last bit of a fox's tail into its den, how are we to leave him coinless? But my friend is firm. This watchman must collect his share from the one already paid. So, without complaint, the guardian of parked cars drags his chair across the lot to a green punto closer to the bar. And this one is much closer to home. It's a long time ago, but it's our coast. And we've had some raging waves and weather lately. The details. That day, one brother was dragged into the sea, and the other had to save him. It was October, and a nor'easter just winding down. Flotsam rolled ashore, then out on waves taller than children, and the small rocks in the shallows cracked and mumbled under the surf. See the brothers lie wet and panting in the sand. See them later as they sidle past their father reading in his chair, trying to get to dry clothes before he sees them. Hear the fathers speak their names without looking in their direction. And when they stand bedraggled before him, listen to his rebuke, steeped in tenderness, because he almost lost his sons to the Atlantic. Outside, the days like wet cast iron, the trees slump with leftover rain. A circle of lamplight surrounds the 3. They will need these details for a lifetime. The gravel of the father's voice holding his sons upright through the storms. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. That's just to whet your appetite for some future poems through our new poet laureate. I'm so excited. Do I have to keep saying new, or can I just say, so tonight's it. You're off the job, Stephen. So just a quick note, we will have an open mic on April 24th at the Mayflower Society House in the Solarium. So if you are a poet and would like to read, please come see me or email me or grab me. And we will be having an accompaniment of Baroque music with the North River Brass Quintet. So we should have some lovely music and poetry together. And enjoy yourself. We are going to be wrapping up here by 6:30 because the restaurant will be open to the public. So thank you all so much.